Hey everybody, it's Kyle here from New York City Guitar School. I'm going to talk about a few variations on some similar chord or some familiar chord shapes. The G chord here, because we're picking, we don't have to hold everything like we normally would since we'll be skipping over strings. We're going to add in one new flavor, this sus2. So it's as if we started on a G and then just reached the first finger up to the G string 2nd fret. Sound. The next chord is E minor, but to create a little bit more of a melody, we're adding this note here, a slight variation. So the first finger can stay in the same spot, but the 3rd finger stretches up to the 4th fret of the D string. Right? This is also a 2, an added flavor of the E minor. So that G, that new variation on the E minor. Here for C, we add in one extra note. This is the 9, so similar to maybe the note that we hear in the normal version of C add 9, but just like this, so that we can go back to normal C. And then D sus2, just like a D chord with that 2nd finger lifted, and we hear that open high E string. And then from this, pivoting back to our G sus2 again. So we're just going to strum. So I'm going to strum through this song with these new variations. It might sound a little weird, but the main thing is that you're training and teaching your left hand these new fingerings. So here we've got a couple bars of this G sus2, and then this variation on the E minor. It sounds a little weird, but that's okay. Keep strumming. Practice that again. Alright, let's try that together. 2, 3, 4, and couple bars. Variation of the E minor. Then the C with the pinky. Just 2 strums on that, back to the C, and then. So that's one great way to train your left hand fingers. Obviously, I guess I'm still training my left hand fingers for that chord. And then after you do that, then work on each chord individually. So here we go. That G sus2, here's the low E string. Go to D, G, D, B, G, D, G. Do that really slowly to a steady beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and go back and forth between looking and watching yourself to make sure everything's good, and then taking your eyes away. You want to wean your eyes away from it so that you can focus your attention elsewhere. We've isolated that G. Now we'll isolate the version of E minor here. Similar pattern, just not skipping over so many strings. So here for the E minor chord, we're going to have E, A, D, A, G, D, A, D. Names of the strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 So it doesn't have to be necessarily fast. It's better to actually slow it way down so that you're really forming solid pathways. So then when we speed up. You don't have to think about it so much. Then we have a slight change in the left hand as we do this pattern for C. We play. So again, I'm starting here, C chord with the pinky, and playing A, G, B, G, lift, B. Watch that again. So let's do that slowly together. Again, just isolating each section of this. That slow, medium, fast. And then to that D sus2 chord. Here, D string, B string, high E string, B string, G string, B string. D, G, high E. That's it. Let's practice that slowly together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then pivoting again back to that G chord. So from here, that can be really helpful, is leaving that first finger in place as we go back to our G sus2. So again, after you've refreshed your left hand on the chords just by strumming, slight variations are okay. Context of the song after you've isolated. So we're just isolating, we're taking it out of context, strumming the chords, and then working on each one of the individual picking patterns like we just did. So once you've done that, and that might take a day or two of practice to feel comfortable and to master it. I'm still in the process of mastering, as you can see. We're going to take some time to do a little play along. So if you feel ready, if I feel ready, we'll do this together. And here we go. Really nice and slow to start. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 bars of this G. Try that again. If you notice how I came up here and I made a slight variation to the picking pattern, don't let that stop you. Just keep the rhythm going and it'll just be a slight variation on the melody. So here we go. Let's do another slow play along. 2 and 3 and 4 and... practice that slowly, maybe gradually increase the tempo as you practice and isolate. And then if you added a palm mute to this as well, just locking in the heel of your palm to the saddle, we get a nice variation in the way that the strings are ringing out. Might take a little bit of adjusting. If you hear more of like a click sound, just bring your hand back gradually until you get more of like a full thud. And trying to put as much of that palm on the saddle as possible so we can get a nice uniform attack on all these notes. Cool. So enjoy.